Hello. Today, my jacket's missing. Well, it's in my aunt's car because we just came back from my grandpa's birthday party. I'm not telling you where or who or why. Well, mostly to get a break out of school, that's why. But other than that, I'm not telling you anything. Also, I have a cold because I got that from my nephews. So, yeah, that's fun. So I'm going to work extra hard to speak clearly. So I've been missing for a couple of days. Kind of. Yeah. I just kind of I didn't skip last Sunday, it's just I had a war at that time, so, um, yeah. I don't think I have any pictures or footage of that to show you, or prove that that happened, so all I've really got is some dirt on my Reaper, but I'm not going to bother you with that. Instead, I'm going to show you what to do with 1,000 zip ties. Not really, but what I'm going to do with a couple of zip ties, and go over a mod that I should have told you people about a long time ago, because it's awesome. Yes, I did censor myself. But before I get to that, I'm going to show you a blaster that currently sucks. This. Because, Captain Xavier picked one up at a thrift store, and didn't know what it is. I don't know what this is, either. But it's a shotgun pistol that shoots both rounds at once, except mine's, broken, and there's sort of a light integrated in the top on a full 120 volt toggle switch that I got for free, so I used it. And this is not an LED, it's one of those weird replacement bulbs for a mag light, a mini mag light. And it's currently held together with some of the stock screws, a random screw, and 2 drywall screws, because, again, I had no idea what I was doing when I made this. I did reinforce the internals with some things, so we're going to open it up so I can show you those things. We'll start with a number 1 for this odd screw here, which isn't even tight to begin with, and for these 2 drywall screws. Those are 3/4 inch drywall screws. What fun. Maybe they're 1 inch, I'm not sure. As you can see, it has dart storage for its massive 5/8 foam darts that it came with, which had the hard plastic tips. And now we switch back to a number 0 screwdriver for the rest of these screws. Or the ones that survived anyways. And frankly, I'm not concerned with losing these screws at all because, well, this thing needs help. And I think an upgrade in screws is going to be a place to start with that. Here, watch closer. I got that one, the magnet out. This one doesn't want to come free. And this one, this one, this one, and that one, we're missing. For fun. Now we've got internals in this end, and a broken light circuit made of floral wire and whatever gauge of 110 wire this is that I cut to make more room for the plunger tube, which is not large or connected to its catch that I reinforced with apparently a staple and lots of epoxy putty and a tiny bit of JB Weld. There's JB Weld here on the trigger assembly and the part that it grabs something with. There's more JB Weld here reinforcing the connection on the plunger rod, which is broken in here. And there's lots of epoxy putty on the catch. These internals are not going to be bueno in the future at all. The switch is going to need to be repositioned. This light circuit is going to be rebuilt completely and made not horrible. It did have one of those same 3-volt batteries that I used in the Wingmaster and Crystal Barons. Excuse me. And I held it in with a rubber band of some kind. Yeah. Oh yeah, and here's the rest of the catch that would grabbed the other plunger tube that I got rid of and used to make a homemade blaster that has no catch and works like a bow, because I thought that was the thing to do with scrap stuff. It's really cool looking and probably hits 40 feet with elite darts. So, you know, good on me for building a homemade when I had no idea how to build a blaster. I'm going to grab a container for this sad hardware here. Frankly, at the time, I didn't know I was going to be opening this up, so you can't blame me for not being prepared. I think what I'm going to keep in here is the plunger rod. Well, maybe just the... Well, yeah, I'll use the whole thing so it doesn't fall out. I'll put back the trigger, and I'll keep the catch and the plunger tube in here and just get rid of this and some other things. And I'll screw it back together now. There's going to be nothing keeping the plunger rod in this. I mean nothing. Also, I'm willing to bet there's supposed to be a return spring on the trigger here. You know, I'm just going to leave this not screwed together for now. Now on to more exciting things. Things that don't require screws. Because they're never going to be maintained. Because they can't be. And that is my ultimate Blastzooka mod. I have camouflage self-fusion deep on for no reason. This is the base blaster pretty much naked. It's got 2 key rings zip tied on, 4 sling attachment points, a 3/4 inch coupler attached to the front with about half an inch of the original barrel up there, and the pump in the stock. I think that's 3 or 4 pumps, and I think you could see that the smoke effect that had. Now, what are the zip ties for? Zip ties are for attaching this. Now, I told you before that I had taken the tactical rail off of my sling fire, and this is how it ended up. This is a headlight for a bicycle that has a detachable mounting point in here, and the light got waterlogged and stopped working, so I took it off of the bike and I never put it back, and it ended up here. It is technically detachable from this, it's just friction fit on with zip ties. Zip tie engineering all the way around. Zip ties here where there's a screw post that normally holds that together on the sling fire. There are 1 screws in this. There's 1 sling fire screw there. Has this tab up top, not that it needs it because the thing I attach onto here doesn't attach using a rail point at all, because it's not strong enough. You know what is strong enough? Zip ties. So I'm going to slide this back on here. The only reason this is removed is because it wouldn't fit into my suitcase like this. I told you I just came back from my grandpa's birthday. That means I went home to where this was hanging out. I know it has an awful lot of black and no orange on it. Oh well. I can risk it where I live. But maybe at a war where they require that kind of thing, I have, well, multiple kinds of barrel for it. For example, this. It's another 3/4 inch coupler adapter, but this is the male one instead of the female one here. And it has 3 CPVC barrels that are not exactly the same length. But it's wrapped in green electrical tape and is basically made of duct tape, hot glue, and divisible materials. You know, CPVC and more CPVC, or PVC and more CPVC. This is what I think is the best kind of PVC is the conduit. But, you know, that's debatable. It's more expensive, yeah, but the store where I bought most of my hardware from doesn't carry the regular PVC in 1/2 and 3/4. They do now, but they didn't at the time. And this is one I built here using PEX, which the barrel fit is different. I don't know. They shoot about the same out of one of these, so yeah. Also, I'm going to finish up with this zip tie here that goes through this hole for the screw posts in both halves of this thing here. And I'm going to take the nub on the zip tie and put it up at the top here so it's out of the way. I'm going to grab a pliers to tighten that down properly. You have to forgive me for that, my toolbox was in hibernate mode. I'll just show you what I'm doing. Grabbing this here with the pliers and torquing up on it to get that as tight as it can go. And then I would cut that off with a razor blade, but I don't have a working razor blade right now, so a boring normal knife will have to do. No, it won't. It won't do at all. Okay, less boring, less normal knife that's sharper. Go. Cutting through that like butter. And being very careful when I close this because I don't want to lose fingers. And that missed the trash can altogether. And then a little bit of super glue to keep it from backing out. Because these kinds of zip ties tend to do that sometimes. And now I think I need 2 more zip ties for my attachment. Which is this. A switch shot blaster with a piece of a Magnus de-jamming lock system for a trigger. It just kind of, I've lightly cut down this tab here on the end, and it just sort of fits in there right above the catch. And this has like a number 55 hardware spring in it, a nub of brass, and probably an upgraded catch spring, but I'm not sure. And this thing hits laser beams. The start will not twist fit in here properly. Let's see if this one's any stiffer. This one's a little bit stiffer. Does be dark. And that probably looks slow. We will now mount this trigger up, because the trigger's up on this, and well, it also fits better. Rock you back to here. Goodness, we're almost in some number of minutes here. I think we're going to start by feeding this zip tie under the rails? Question mark? This way is better. Okay, I can fit a small screwdriver in there to grab that, I think. There we go. Got it. And this still just, oh, well, not with that one, it won't. This isn't exactly back all the way either. Oh dear, I lost the zip tie. Yeah, I need to get that under the parts where the holes line up at. Let's see here. Zip ties are fickle. Let's see about that. Ha! Got it. This will work at some point. And of course I made these holes in the switch shot really uneven and, you know, just all around poorly done. Go me. Right? Yeah. get the next one on there then. And that is more or less how that's going to be. And again with the pliers. Really big, mouthed, lockjaw pliers. And that really gets things nice and locked down. Sometimes past the breaking points. And there we go. One zip tie tack rail attachment. I would show this flashlight working, but, well, it's got batteries in it, but I kind of broke the circuit because it has two functions besides, off. It has on and strobe, and I'm going to rewire the circuit so it doesn't have strobe, because the button it's sticky and weird because of how it got water in it and it rusted and corroded. So I think it'll be more reliable if I have two settings that are just on. Even if that means I have to push the button twice to turn it off. It's a fairly responsive button most of the time. And knife is not cutting like butter for some reason. There it goes. That one almost cut my finger. What fun. Those actually made it into the garbage. And there we go. Sturdy. Not a terribly straight shot, but I can attempt to line that up better. And then the button would be right here and very easy to get. It's a very comfortable foregrip, and I can shoot that and push my button here. And 3 pumps should make this send a single dart about 75 feet. Because, well, it's a pump from here to here, and, that much draw. Yeah, that shook the camera, which is, a laptop, so it hit the screen of the laptop and made it shake. Now this guy, one nice thing about this and the shape of this blaster is that trigger is so easy to get to. Oh yeah, what's this? Obviously this is duct tape. This is a sling for tack rail, and this is a zip tie. What is this on top of the air tank? This is something called fiber fix that you can get at hardware stores. I believe this is the 2-inch by 65 inches or 60 inches. The thickest, or not the thickest, the middle-sized one. Yeah, the skinnier one is shorter, and I don't know how long the skinny one is compared to this, but the thicker one that's like a 4 by something is shorter than this. But yeah, and it's kind of crudely done, but it's fairly ergonomic. It's a great grip, and this tank will never blow up, no matter how much air you put into it. There is 3 layers of this material. Let's get that nice close-up of that material around the air tank. It's never going to blow up. If anything, it'll blow off the blast button. It's wrapped around the back half of the coupler up here, which was just attached with hot glue initially. But you can sort of see in there, between the ring of the coupler and that orange ring, there's hot glue in there to fill in the dead space as best I can. So, yeah. What about attachments? Well, mainly this. It's threaded, and you just spin the body of the blaster until it's fairly tight. Or not until it's tight. Whatever. There's just enough space between it and the tack rail for it to spin freely, and I like it there. And then you load in 3 darts, or have it loaded with 3 darts, pump it up 3 times, and blast then to attach other things, you would unscrew it like such. Another thing I have is a modified Firefly turret that I took apart because I need to re-secure these barrels and cover them in orange something. And probably work on my seal up here, because that's the stock turret seal from the Firefly, just plastic welded into this length 3/4 inch CPVC, attached with lots of adhesives and a screw to this. Yeah, and then I have a 1/2 inch, or not 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch male thread adapter to 3/4 inch CPVC pipe. See, there's a screw running straight through that, and these holes are all marked more or less just so I can align them better. Make sure that that's centered and gets the best air seal. I'm going to replace the seal, or add craft foam to this seal here at some point. And this is the clear front, which is very crudely cut down. You can see that this one actually chipped significantly. I'm probably not going to fix those because it doesn't matter, it's just aesthetic. I can take this and what I would normally do to make sure I don't tighten this too much that I can't get it out again is I'd fit a length of the appropriate pipe inside of it and turn the pipe, and when the friction between the inside of the coupler and the pipe breaks, it's tight enough and I can take it off again by hand, and it's also tight enough where it's not going to come out from use. There's obviously an omnidirectional pump. This is an older style of the a Spalding ball pump that they don't make anymore with the metal rod here. Now it's a plastic one. Inside of the stock for support, to give it this shape, I have some probably 8 inches of 3/4 inch CPVC, and then covered in a lot of electrical tape and duct tape and green duct tape. And there's probably pink duct tape in the core, because this used to be a pink and black plaster before I changed it to green. Now this one is the original, and it's kind of a fluke because the attachment between the tubing from the pump to the back of the Blastzooka tank, it's super glue and duct tape. I'm not lying, it's super glue and duct tape, and it's holding, and it's not leaking, and I can't explain it. I don't know how the physics behind that work, because I don't think I used proper surface preparation either. So, I don't know. Yeah. For support in the handle, again, is more 3/4 inch CPVC with a length of probably 1/4 inch ID latex tubing inside of here, going from the front of the pump to the back of the tank. So, yeah. Now, this isn't the only one of these I've built. I built another one, differently. I built this, which has a nice aluminum foil tape Dr. Jekyll logo here, with my nice Vampire Slayer skull on it. It's got 2016 here, because that's when I built it. It started to fade because, well, I need to redo that and clear it this time. And it has another tag here on the pump with the blaster's name, because I've dubbed this the Teal Strike EX3. It's more or less the same thing, except instead of just well, what is in the other one is just more duct tape to make the bend. This one has a T. See, it's a T. With a hidden message inside. No, that's just a piece of plexiglass to keep dirt and stuff out, and to help seal it in case there was an air leak in there, which I think there is, and it's not working. Why isn't it working? The pump is sealed up here, right? No, it isn't. The pump is not sealed up there. It is, in fact, removable. You see a length of latex tubing there, and some threads that I'm going to have to explain in another video, but I have a nice demo one here because I do. Oh, what's this? This is the stock made of scrap parts that I had laying around. And I have here a zip tie sling point. Yep. At the front of the pump here, we have 3/8 threads filled and surrounded by epoxy putty. And all of it is plastic welded into place. This hole here more or less seals around the latex tube. In there, we have a nice shroud of this fine FaberFix material, which I think I did a pretty good job of on this one too. I really like how I did the aluminum foil-shaped logo up here, though. It's got my name on it. Sort of. I mean, it did before it faded. And again, the same combination up here. This one is PEX and teal duct tape throughout, because I had it handy and it was cool looking. This one I got the wrap a little bit tighter on, so that's good. And again, this just threads out. And I've kind of put some glue markers on here so I know about where I want to tighten that to get it to look cool. And it's loose enough that I can easily take it off in the battlefield if that were needed to happen. And that it really cleaned up this system here, where we have a coupler in here, a length of CPVC, a length of CPVC, and a male to female elbow, because, well, this looks cooler than just, you know, a boring all-female coupler or elbow going to more tube. This looks more interesting, I think. And look. Yeah, no, the words aren't there. The words are here. Let's turn the light away so you can see the words. See the words? Do you see the words? Do you see them? They're upside down. You know what they say, though? They say made in the USA. Because they do. Because that's good for things. So that's nice. Yeah. I mean, other than the tank inside of here, this is all made of American parts. American duct tape, American pipe, American FiberFix, American PEX, American conduit, American aluminum. Excuse me. I need a drink. I've never heard of anyone wrapping a blaster like this. Excuse me. Okay, that cold is kicking my butt. There was blood in some of the stuff that just came out of me, so that's not good. But yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing this before, or, for goodness, I threw this way too far. This before, so this one weighs significantly more than this one, even with its pump. Oh, goodness. I think most of the weight in this comes from the duct tape. Now this one weighs, I don't know, maybe most of the weight's just coming from all the stuff up here. You notice, though, still none of these have orange barrels except for the switch shot here, which, whatever. Again, I don't particularly care. I don't take them outside anyways. Does this one anyway resemble any gun you've ever seen or heard of? No, it doesn't. Does this resemble any gun you've ever seen or heard of? No, it doesn't. Are they obviously plastic? I mean, that's kind of a toss-up. So, yeah. But if I absolutely need to, I have this one. And, well, actually, if it came to it, I can just take these and this and just put a wrap of duct tape around them. But I think they look better like this. Of course, it'd be nice if maybe duct tape didn't roll on you. Other than that, I have nothing more to say. Hopefully I can come up with an interesting thumbnail for this. Bye.